If you've ever tried to make a dairy-free dessert only to end up with something grainy, bland, or just plain disappointing, you're not alone. But the truth is, swapping out butter and milk doesn't have to mean sacrificing that creamy, rich finish you're craving. One trick that makes all these recipes work is using coconut cream in a way that gives you a silky texture without any coconut flavor if you don't want it. In this roundup of 18 ideas, you'll see just how simple and fast most of them come together. Whether you're baking for a birthday party, a holiday gathering, or a quiet weeknight treat, these desserts let everyone at the table feel included. Think silky chocolate mousse, fluffy coconut whipped topping, and rich fruit-based ice creams that taste every bit as indulgent as the original. A few of the options even use ingredients you probably already have in your pantry. So, let's jump right into this collection of easy dairy-free desserts that work for any occasion. Let's kick things off with a dessert that feels like a tropical vacation in a bowl. Creamy coconut mango. Nice cream. It's perfect for warm afternoons or anytime you're craving something cool and sweet without any dairy. All you need is frozen mango chunks and a can of full-fat coconut milk, blended until silky smooth. A tiny pinch of salt helps bring out the natural sweetness and balances the flavors beautifully. You can pour it straight into a dish for soft serve texture or freeze it a bit longer for scoopable ice cream. If you want an extra twist, toss in a handful of frozen pineapple or a splash of lime juice before blending. It feels so indulgent and refreshing, like a healthy treat that actually satisfies your sweet tooth. Next up, we've got another creamy dessert that's just as easy to whip up, perfect for when you need something quick and cozy. Now let's talk about a dessert that might surprise you. Rich, velvety chocolate avocado mousse that's completely dairy-free. This one is great for dinner parties or a quiet night in when you want something decadent but still good for you. You just blend ripe avocado with cocoa powder, a little maple syrup, and a splash of vanilla extract until it's super smooth. The avocado gives it that luscious, creamy texture without any cream or butter at all. A dash of espresso powder or a pinch of cinnamon can deepen the chocolate flavor if you're in the mood. Make sure your avocado is perfectly ripe, too firm and it will not blend smoothly, too brown and it'll taste off. Eating this feels like a total indulgence, but you're actually getting healthy fats and fiber with every spoonful. From one creamy bowl to another, our next dessert takes a different route with a crunchy, fruity base. These no-bake peanut butter oat bars are the kind of dessert you can throw together in 15 minutes with zero oven time. They're ideal for busy days, lunchbox treats, or whenever you need a quick energy boost that still feels like a reward. Just mix rolled oats, creamy peanut butter, a little maple syrup, and some dairy-free chocolate chips if you like. Press the mixture firmly into a pan, pop it in the fridge to set, and you've got chewy, satisfying bars ready to go. You can swap the peanut butter for almond or sunflower seed butter to keep them nut-free if needed. For extra texture, fold in some chopped dates or a handful of shredded coconut before pressing. Every bite is packed with protein and natural sweetness, making them feel like a wholesome treat you can feel good about. Speaking of no-bake, our next dessert is just as simple and takes a refreshing, fruity turn. Before we move on to the next dessert idea, take a moment to think about which one you'd try first. I'd love to hear your pick in the comments below. Are you more of a chocolate lover or a fruit dessert fan? Let me know what kind of dairy-free swap you usually need in your kitchen. Your comment helps others in this community find new ideas too. While you're here, hit that like button and consider subscribing for more recipe roundups. There are plenty more dishes coming your way in this collection. Stick around, because the next one might become your new favorite. If you're after a dessert that's light, bright, and super pretty, try a lemon blueberry coconut yogurt parfait. It's wonderful for brunches, summer parties, or any time you want something that feels elegant yet effortless. Layer dairy-free coconut yogurt with a quick homemade blueberry compote and crunchy granola. For the compote, just simmer blueberries with a bit of lemon juice and maple syrup until they burst and thicken. The lemon zest stirred into the yogurt adds such a fresh, zingy pop that balances the sweet berries perfectly. Use a store-bought dairy-free yogurt to save time, or make your own coconut yogurt if you're feeling ambitious. This parfait tastes like sunshine in a glass, creamy, tangy, and full of juicy fruit goodness. Now, let's move to something warm and comforting that bakes up all on its own. There's nothing like the smell of a baked cinnamon apple crisp filling your kitchen, and this one is completely dairy-free. It's a classic fall dessert that works for holidays, cozy weekends, or any time you want a warm, fruity treat. Slice up some apples, toss them with cinnamon and a little maple syrup, then pile them into a baking dish. For the topping, mix oats, almond flour, coconut oil, and a pinch of nutmeg until crumbly, then scatter it over the apples. Bake until the apples are tender and the topping is golden and crisp. It's that simple. Feel free to swap the apples for pears, or add a handful of fresh cranberries for a tangy twist. Serving it warm makes the whole house feel cozy, and it's just as delicious with a scoop of coconut ice cream. Our final dessert in this first half takes a different route, combining crunch and creaminess in a handheld bite. Let's wrap up this section with coconut date energy bites, little no-bake balls that are perfect for snacking and desserts alike. They come in handy for road trips, post-workout cravings, or any time you need a quick sweet fix without turning on the stove. Just pulse-pitted dates, shredded coconut, and a handful of almonds in a food processor until they stick together. Roll the mixture into small balls, then coat them in more coconut or a dusting of cocoa powder for extra flair. The dates provide natural sweetness and a chewy texture while the nuts add a pleasant crunch. If you want a different flavor, try adding a tablespoon of chia seeds or a splash of orange extract to the mix. Popping one of these feels like eating a little nugget of energy, satisfying, sweet, and totally guilt-free. Now that you've seen a variety of easy ideas, the next dessert takes things in a completely unexpected creamy direction. Next up is a creamy coconut chia pudding that feels like a little bowl of comfort. This one is perfect for when you want something that feels indulgent but is still completely dairy-free and naturally sweet. You just stir chia seeds into coconut milk with a touch of maple syrup and vanilla, then let it sit in the fridge until it thickens. While it sets, you can quickly simmer some frozen berries with a splash of lemon juice to make a quick compote. Once the pudding is thick and gel-like, you layer it with a warm berry compote for a beautiful contrast. If you want to switch it up, try using almond milk instead of coconut milk, or top it with chopped nuts for crunch. The texture is silky and satisfying, and the tart berries balance the sweetness perfectly. Now let's move on to another cool and creamy treat that's just as easy to whip up. This banana coconut soft serve is basically magic in a blender, and it only takes a few minutes to make. It's a fantastic option for hot days, or when you're craving something cold and creamy without any dairy. You just freeze ripe bananas until they're solid, then blend them with a splash of coconut milk until smooth and fluffy. The coconut milk adds a subtle tropical flavor and makes the texture extra velvety. You can eat it right away for a soft serve consistency, or pop it in the freezer for a firmer scoop. For a fun twist, add a spoonful of cocoa powder or a handful of frozen strawberries before blending. It tastes like a guilt-free dessert that everyone at the table will love. Next, we'll make a silky panna cotta that's completely dairy-free but still rich and elegant. If you're enjoying this set of dairy-free dessert ideas, I have a resource you'll want to know about. Head over to www.healthybitestribe.com for tons of similar recipes. You'll find an AI recipe generator that can create custom dairy-free desserts just for you. There's also a meal planner to help organize your week with these dishes. You can save your favorite recipes from this list and share them with friends. The whole site is built for anyone cooking around food allergies or healthier eating goals. It's a warm, practical space to find exactly what you need. Come check it out whenever you want more inspiration like this. This dairy-free chocolate panna cotta is surprisingly simple and feels fancy enough for a dinner party. It works beautifully because coconut cream gives it that luscious, melt-in-your-mouth texture without any heavy cream. You warm coconut cream with a little sugar and cocoa powder, then stir in some agar-agar to help it set. Once it's dissolved, you pour the mixture into small cups or ramekins and let them chill in the fridge. In about an hour, you'll have perfectly set, wobbly panna cottas that are rich and chocolatey. If you prefer a lighter version, you can use light coconut milk, but the cream gives the best texture. Each spoonful is smooth and decadent, and nobody will guess it's dairy-free. Let's keep the cool treats coming with a refreshing popsicle that's perfect for summer. These strawberry coconut milk popsicles are a bright and fruity way to cool down without any dairy. They're ideal for parties, picnics, or just a simple afternoon snack that feels like a treat. You blend fresh or frozen strawberries with coconut milk and a little honey or agave until smooth. Pour the mixture into popsicle mold, add sticks, and freeze until solid. The coconut milk keeps them creamy, while the strawberries give them a vibrant color and natural sweetness. You can swap the strawberries for mango or raspberries, or even layer different fruit purees for a striped effect. They're so refreshing and kid-friendly, and they come together in just a few minutes. Now let's move on to a no-bake chocolate treat that's perfect for satisfying a sweet tooth. These no-bake chocolate coconut cups are like a homemade version of a popular candy, but completely dairy-free. They're great for when you want something bite-sized and chocolatey without turning on the oven. You melt dairy-free dark chocolate and spoon a little into the bottom of mini muffin liners. Then you mix shredded coconut with a bit of coconut oil and maple syrup and press that into the chocolate. Up with another layer of melted chocolate, then let them set in the fridge until firm. For extra flavor, you can add a pinch of sea salt or a drop of peppermint extract to the chocolate. They're crunchy, creamy, and perfectly portioned for a quick dessert. Next, we'll make a warm and comforting pudding that's like a hug in a bowl. This coconut milk rice pudding is a cozy, dairy-free version of a classic comfort dessert. It's wonderful for cooler evenings or when you need something soothing and satisfying. You cook short grain rice in coconut milk with a little sugar, vanilla, and a pinch of cinnamon until it's thick and creamy. The rice absorbs the coconut milk slowly, creating a rich, pudding-like texture without any dairy. You can stir in some raisins or top it with toasted coconut flakes for extra texture. If you want it even creamier, add a splash of extra coconut milk at the end and stir well. It's warm, fragrant, and feels like a bowl of pure comfort. And with that, we're ready to move into the final part of our dairy-free dessert journey. This next dessert is a total showstopper, and it's surprisingly simple to pull off. A creamy coconut pie fits perfectly for any occasion because it feels fancy but uses easy dairy-free ingredients. You start by pressing a mix of ground nuts and a little coconut oil into a pie dish to form a sturdy, no-bake crust. Then you blend full-fat coconut milk with a bit of cornstarch and maple syrup and cook it on the stove until it thickens into a silky pudding. Pour that filling into the crust, let it chill for a few hours, and top it with toasted coconut flakes for crunch. If you need a nut-free version, swap the crust for crushed gluten-free graham crackers mixed with coconut oil. Every slice is rich, smooth, and just sweet enough, making it a dessert that impresses without any fuss. And once you've mastered that creamy texture, you'll love how easily it carries into our next treat. You know, cooking dairy-free doesn't have to feel lonely or limiting. Our community at Healthy Bites Tribe is full of people who get it. We share tips, encouragement, and real-life swaps that make these recipes work. Whether you're new to dairy-free baking or a seasoned pro, there's a place for you here. I'd love for you to join us over at www.healthybitestribe.com. You can connect with others, ask questions, and feel supported in your kitchen. And if this video helped you today, subscribing to the channel is another great way to stay connected. Keep experimenting with these ideas, and remember, you're never cooking alone. If you're craving something deeply chocolatey, this dairy-free chocolate tart is exactly what you need. It works beautifully for dinner parties or a quiet night in, since it feels indulgent but uses only a handful of simple swaps. The crust is made from crushed dates and almonds, pressed into a tart pan and baked just until firm. For the filling, you melt dairy-free dark chocolate and stir it into warm coconut cream until it's glossy and smooth. Pour that over the crust, spread it even, and let it sit in the fridge for a couple of hours. A pinch of sea salt on top really brings out the chocolate flavor, and you can add a splash of vanilla for extra depth. People will be amazed that something this rich and velvety has no dairy at all. That same silky chocolate magic will pop up again in a completely different form soon. For a refreshing, fruity option, this mango sorbet is a total game changer. It's perfect for hot days or when you want something light after a heavy meal, and it's naturally dairy-free. You just blend frozen mango chunks with a little coconut water and a squeeze of lime until it's thick and creamy. If you want it sweeter, add a drizzle of agave or maple syrup before blending. Then you can either serve it right away as a soft serve texture or freeze it for a firmer scoopable sorbet. For a fun twist, swap the lime for orange juice and add a pinch of chili powder for a spicy kick. The bright tropical flavor feels like a mini vacation in a bowl, and it comes together in under 5 minutes. That same quick and easy vibe carries over into our next dessert, which is perfect for busy mornings or lazy afternoons. This baked berry oatmeal is more of a cozy dessert than a breakfast, and it's wonderful for any time you want something warm and comforting. It fits the dairy-free theme because you use coconut milk or almond milk instead of regular milk, and it still turns out perfectly tender. You mix rolled oats with a little baking powder, cinnamon, and your favorite berries, then stir in the milk and a bit of maple syrup. Pour everything into a baking dish and let it bake until golden and bubbly on top. The berries burst and create little pockets of jammy sweetness throughout the oatmeal. You can use frozen berries if fresh aren't in season and add a handful of chopped nuts for extra crunch. Served warm with a drizzle of coconut cream, it feels like a hug in a bowl. That same baked fruity comfort leads perfectly into our next dessert, which is all about cozy sipping. This coconut milk hot chocolate is the ultimate dairy-free treat for chilly evenings or when you need a little pick-me-up. It works for any occasion because it's quick to make and feels like a special indulgence without any dairy. You simply warm full-fat coconut milk in a saucepan with cocoa powder and a touch of maple syrup until it's smooth and steaming. Whisk in a pinch of cinnamon or a drop of peppermint extract for a festive twist. For the whipped cream, chill a can of coconut cream, then whip it with a little powdered sugar until fluffy. If you don't have coconut cream, you can use the thick part from a can of full-fat coconut milk. The result is a rich, velvety drink that satisfies any chocolate craving and feels like a warm hug. And after all that cozy sipping, we've saved one last baked dessert that ties everything together beautifully. For our final dessert, this dairy-free banana bread pudding is the perfect way to use up ripe bananas and leftover bread. It's ideal for brunches, holidays, or just a comforting weekend treat, and it's completely free of dairy. You cube some stale bread or even gluten-free bread and layer it in a baking dish with sliced bananas. Whisk together coconut milk, a couple of eggs, maple syrup, and a dash of vanilla, then pour it over the bread and bananas. Let it sit for a few minutes so the bread soaks up the custard, then bake until golden and puffed. For a nutty crunch, sprinkle some chopped pecans or walnuts on top before baking. Every spoonful is soft, sweet, and comforting, and it's a wonderful way to end any meal. We hope these easy, dairy-free desserts inspire you to get creative in the kitchen, and we'll see you in the next video with more delicious, allergy-friendly ideas. And there you have it, a full lineup of easy, dairy-free desserts for any occasion. Whether you're baking for a birthday, a holiday, or just a quiet night in, this collection has you covered. You can pick and choose the ideas that work best for your tastes and any dietary needs you're cooking for. If you found this roundup helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Over at www.healthybitestribe.com, you'll find even more recipes just like these. Our community also has an AI recipe generator, a meal planner, and easy ways to save and share your favorites. Plus, you can chat with others who understand the joy of allergy-friendly cooking. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.